Your son was about to fight Lubin. Obviously, you were confident he would beat Lubin. So why would Vergil Ortiz's dad diss Jaron Ennis and shut down fighting him next, talking about he need to earn his own way or whatever?
Now, a fight with Vergil Ortiz has been heavily talked about, and Oscar De La Hoya said 154, Vergil's the only man at.
No, I'm the man at 154.
What do you have to say about you in this new weight class?
I feel great. You know, I'm glad I moved up, and it's time to eat now.
What are your thoughts about Xander Zayas, Sebastian Fundora, Bakram, Vergil Ortiz?
Bring them on.
Who do you want the most?
I want Vergil next.
I can understand and respect. I'm always been respectful of this.
Hey, we can bet whatever. I guarantee you.
I don't want to take your money away, bro. I'm not betting.
You ain't gonna take nothing.
Nah.
You ain't gonna take nothing. I guarantee you. We can bet any amount of money. When we fight, I guarantee you, I'm gonna win.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Why? Why are you hounding me? Why does boxing continue to do this to its fans? A lot of y'all who watch boxing may have seen over the weekend a face-off between Jaron Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. And if you're a real boxing fan like me, you might have even got excited. Like, man, this fight could be next. But in this video, I'm going to let you know why I'm not fully confident. I'm not 100% sure that we get this fight next. So let your boy Ego take you through it. I'll give you my thoughts. We're going to unpack this. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, this is basically a continuation of my last video, which you notice in boxing, your man Ego is the king of consistency. Like, I feel what I feel. My reads are usually honest, or not usually, they always are honest and going off the information that's available. You never really see me backtrack. Like, since I've been doing this, which is longer than most people, you haven't really seen me backtrack. Now, I'll get a fight prediction wrong or something like that, but this is different. I'm talking about reads on like situational things, what's going on. Anybody is kind of liable to get a fight prediction wrong. If you're a diehard boxing fan and you say you have never got a fight prediction wrong, either A, you're a liar, or B, you don't watch the same type of boxing and you predict one fight a year or something. Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. At first, you know, like everybody, I got excited. I'm like, man, we might get this fight. But I'm going to take you through it in this video and let you know why it looks like politics as usual. And we might not get the fight. And spoiler alert, most of what I'm going to say, if not all of it, is coming from the Vergil Ortiz side. So if that offends you, if you don't want to hear me out and you just disagree, then you might as well leave this video right now, because I already gave you the spoiler alert. So you just gonna help me get paid by sticking around to the end of the video. So those who want to learn, those who want my opinion, and you know who you dealing with. You dealing with the best in the business, and it's not even close. You dealing with Ego, man. So I'm going to show you some receipts and let you listen to it and let you know why I feel it. So let's get started. I'm gonna get my headphones on. And they did the face-off, right? That was all fine and dandy. That was fun, good TV, good for ratings, all that. No problem whatsoever with the face-off. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, I feel like that was important for Jaron Boots Ennis particularly, because in the past, some people felt he made questionable decisions or dodged Vergil Ortiz. So the fact that he flew, had airline trouble with the government shutdown, right? Still made his way, found a way to fly from Philly, presumably, to Dallas, Fort Worth area where Vergil was fighting. That shows me that the stuff he has been saying about wanting to fight Vergil Ortiz, that's a step in the right direction. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you? And I'm just being real. Jaron just fought Lima. I don't think Vergil Ortiz was there. So if you know nature, you'll know that mountain lions, aka screamers, these pumas, they'll stalk their prey. Like, you could be getting trailed for a mile, 2 miles while you're walking on a hike. You don't even know you're being followed, right? So the fact that in the animal planet, that's how animals hunt and like size you up and stuff. That's what Boots is doing. Pure Animal Planet. You got to fight. The fight don't have nothing to do with me. The card, the promoter, Golden Boy don't have nothing to do with me. But I'm pulling up. I'm gonna make you notice me. And I seen some people, they try to give Vergil a bunch of credit because he said, Boots, come over here. Boots was already in the ring at that point. So it's not like you were doing the post fight and you seen him ringside and say, hey, get in here. He was already in the ring. So, I mean, at that point, yeah, I'm not giving you a bunch of credit for that, bro. The only way I'll give you credit is if you pulled him into the ring, like told him, hey, come up in here, come up. And he wasn't in the ring. He was already in the ring. So their security or whoever led him through. So you already knew it was about to go down. So I'm personally not going to give you a bunch of credit for that, right? Because you didn't go out of your way to make that happen. If anything, he did by flying to your fight, pulling up to the fight. Your fight ended by knockout, second round over Lubin. I did a video about that. Check that out. And getting out of his seat, going in the ring, and, you know, finding a way in the ring. So he did all the work, put it that way. But again, I've seen a lot of the race fans, they were like, oh man, but Vergil said, come here, Boots. I mean, you said come here when he's probably 5 feet away from you, because if he was ringside, he wouldn't have been able to get in the ring that quick. Anyway, moving on. So you have this whole face-off, right? That was good. You know, both guys stated their case, but it's so weird that we watch the same thing. Like, we go all watch the same fight, all watch the same face-off, and yet people, it's like they hear and see what they want to see. There were people, I seen comments, they were leaving me comments like, oh, Ego, your boy Boots sounds scared. And you notice when it's a black fighter, they always say your boy. like I'm from Philly or something. Like I'm in the gym with Boots in this. But anyway, that's just a sidebar for the race fans. It's always your boy, right? So we know what time it is. But Boots was in the ring. Some people were saying he was stuttering and he sounded petrified. I mean, you're really just making it up. He had the same flow. He had the same cadence that he always has. Nothing new under the sun. So the race fans are definitely reaching when they're saying that Boots sounded different or scared or nervous. Again, I could tell some of y'all never been in a fight, never lived life, never been outside. The person who's scared probably wouldn't take a flight, probably wouldn't get in the ring in front of national, cameras and who does that? Like, when you see videos online where somebody is truly scared, they usually itch up, right? And, tuck their tail, and they don't want no confrontation. They don't want no smoke. They look down, body language. We didn't see that from Boots, so please stop. But let's get into why I'm not necessarily believing that the fight happens next, right? So for starters, let's start with Boots Ennis. This is what he said after the Vergil Ortiz fight, right? Or the day of the Vergil Ortiz fight.
There's no more talking. Go ahead. Hopefully they sign on papers and make this fight happen, because I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing. And like I said, I'm about to show the world why I'm the best in the world. There's no more talking. Go ahead.
It's no more talking. Hopefully they sign the paperwork so we can get it shaken. This is what he said the night Vergil Ortiz beat Lima. Now, here's what he said after, or Vergil Ortiz beat Lubin, but here's what Jaron Ennis said after he beat Lima. So the clip you just heard was the night of the Lubin fight. That was Boots saying, I hope they sign, let's go. So he already got in the ring and faced off with the man, right? But in addition, he was interviewed by DAZN or Ring, and he said, hopefully they sign. But this clip I'm about to play right now is Boots after his fight versus Lima. And listen to what he says.
Expecting a first round knockout?
No, I knew I was going to knock him out, though, but not first round. Probably like second or third.
Now, a fight with Vergil Ortiz has been heavily talked about, and Oscar De La Hoya said 154, Virgil's the only man at.
No, I'm the man at 154.
What do you have to say about you in this new weight class?
I feel great. You know, I'm glad I moved up, and it's time to eat now.
What are your thoughts about Xander Zayas, Sebastian Fendora, Bakram, Vergil Ortiz?
Bring them on.
Who do you want the most?
I want Vergil next, but if it's not Vergil, you know, and anybody, anybody with the belts, you know, and I'm trying to stamp my legacy.
Undisputed?
Shut everybody up for sure, definitely. There's no more talking. Go ahead. Hopefully they sign on paper.
So you just heard from Boots. After his own fight, he said, I want Vergil Ortiz next. That's what he said. So that's consistency. The night of the Lubin Ortiz fight, I want Vergil, right? The night he fought and beat Lima, I want Vergil. Like, these are the words coming out of his mouth. He's telling you that. So I can respect that Boots Ennis is blunt, to the point, and very direct. There's no ambiguity at all. There's nothing where a fan needs to read between the lines to know what he wants. He's very transparent, and he's saying directly, let's mix it up, me and Vergil particularly, right? You got to respect that. Now, the reason why I'm saying it looks bad for Vergil Ortiz's team, right? Which we're going to get into that right now. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I do dedicated breakdowns in the world of boxing like this. So if you respect the effort, the knowledge, the information, and the community, Ego's Army, we are deep, then you know what to do. Hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe button, right? So to recap, at least since the Lima fight and moving up to 54, Jaron says, I want Vergil. He said it in the ring after his fight. I just played a clip where he was walking back to his locker room. He said, I want Vergil next. That's what I want to shut people up. He pulled up to Vergil's fight, which is a show of good faith, got in the ring, said everything else. I'll bet you I beat you. You don't want smoke. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a beat you. I'm going to make you pay. Your manager talking crazy. Oscar talking crazy. Your daddy talking crazy. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to make you pay for what they say. Then I showed you, or let you listen to, audio of him being interviewed that night. And he said the same thing. Vergil, Vergil, Vergil. Days before the Lubin fight, this is Team Ortiz. In an interview with Fight Hype, right? I'm going to put it on the screen. Read that title, or I'll read it for you. Vergil Ortiz Sr. disses Jaron Ennis, shuts down a fight or fighting him next. Quote, You got to earn your way. In the words of DMX, here we go again. Same old ish, dog. It's a different day. Here we go. You know, because what Boxingego is doing, my mans and them is doing. Here we go again. And if you watch this interview, it is the trainer or co-trainer or whatever, because he used to be a trainer and then he got back with Robert Garcia. Cool. But the father of Vergil Ortiz, and he's talking about Jaron Boots Ennis. He needs to earn his space. He needs to earn his keep. You notice Team Ortiz, they're stuck in the past. They keep talking about a failed negotiation that didn't happen. Cool. We give you credit for that, but that was then. What about now? The time is still perfect for y'all to fight. Vergil hasn't lost. Just knocked someone out in 2 rounds. Made easy work of Lubin. Jaron Ennis hasn't lost. Undefeated. Moved up to the weight, has 1 fight in the can, calling out your son, and he got a 1st round knockout over Lima, right? So you got to study people's moves. Why would you be so focused on failed prior attempts if the fight still makes sense and you're still down to make the fight? I got to TiVo this. I got to rewind time. Listen to what I said. Cool. You think there was an opportunity on the table for your son, Vergil Ortiz, to fight Jaron Ennis, and he didn't accept. He wasn't ready. He was at 47, whatever. Cool. That was then. The fight's still relevant, still makes sense. Jaron Ennis is still saying he wants to fight him. He literally said, I think it's the biggest fight in boxing. And I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's definitely one of the biggest fights in boxing. So the fight is still fresh. What gives? What is the problem? Why are we focusing on when he was at 47 and it didn't happen for whatever reason? I don't know what happened. And I've already criticized Boots for how it played out at that time. But that's neither here nor there. So your son was about to fight Lubin. Obviously, you were confident he would beat Lubin. So why would Vergil Ortiz's dad diss Jaron Ennis and shut down fighting him next? Talking about he need to earn his own way or whatever. Looking shaky, baby. Right? More from Vergil Ortiz's team. This is De La Hoya. He says, and I quote, "When I say it has to be favorable to Vergil, that's the obvious case. Look at what he did. Vergil Ortiz, he is the man." Right? So I already went over Vergil Sr., his pops, and what he said before the fight. But now after he knocked out Lubin, now you have Oscar De La Hoya on wax, and he's talking about the conditions in the negotiations must favor Vergil Ortiz because he's the man. Now I ask you, being fair, being realistic, does this sound like a team that is chomping at the bit to fight Jaron Boots Ennis? Days before the fight, before an outcome, your dad is talking about whose boots beat, so to speak. Why should we fight him next? He needs to do something, go win a belt, all this type of stuff. After you win, so I can understand and respect. I'm always been respectful of this. When a fighter doesn't want to talk about the future too much because they have opponent signed, sealed, delivered, and in front of them, I can respect that because you shouldn't overlook. But even after he already beat Erickson Lubin, that's what De La Hoya said. So No longer do you have to worry like, oh, what if Lubin beats him, or let's wait to see how this fight. You're doing this after he already secured the victory. So now he's in the clear because he already like achieved and executed on the game plan, cooked Lubin in 2 rounds. Right? I gotta admit this too. With what Vergil Ortiz Sr. is saying about what has he done, what has Boots done, earn your keep. How come people do this in boxing is typically to difficult fights, black fighters, right? And Cuban fighters. Historically, look that up. When people say, oh, this guy doesn't sell, he doesn't put butts in the seats like me. Oh, I don't like his resume enough, right? He's a runner. He's a track star. All these things, right, that are said is usually towards black or Cuban fighters. Look it up. Occasionally, Canelo kind of did that to David Benavidez. But I'm talking about if you had 10 times, like 8 out of 10 times, it's a black or Cuban fighter that they try to marginalize to not make the fight. And it's always a perceived dangerous fight, right? Like Guillermo Rigondeaux in his prime, 2-time gold medalist, Cuban fighter, El Chacao, was a super dangerous fight for the Framptons, the Quigs, the Leo Santa Cruz. And they were saying that type of stuff. Oh, why should we fight him? Who's he beat? Oh, nobody knows him. I'm after the big fights, all this type of stuff, right? I remember Kell Brook did it with Errol Spence. Errol was, I want Kell. I'm in the IBF. I'm the IBF route, man down. Strat season. Yeah, right? Errol was like, I want to fight the champion. I'm highly ranked in the IBF. Kell Brook is mine. You know, that's my title opportunity. Kell Brook was saying that, why do you Americans like Errol Spence? He ain't beat nobody. I'm after the big fights like Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and Amir Khan. And what does Errol Spence do for me? He was saying Americans rate Errol and he ain't done nothing. He's like Jeff Lacey. Look it up, because I've been in boxing, so I lived it and reported about it. So, needless to say, the pressure mounted. He lost to Triple G at middleweight. He had to defend his title, moving back down because he wasn't going to stay at middleweight at the time. Moved back down to 47, and Errol was the number 1 seed. He was the mandatory, so you were forced to fight him after the Triple G fight. And when you watch Kell Brook versus Errol Spence, Errol went to your backyard and cooked you and stopped you. So almost every single time when these fighters do this and prolong it, and then the fight happens, and then now you see why their team, their promoter, or their matchmaker, or them themselves put that out there and tried to shift the narrative so they didn't have to fight this person, right? Canelo, he just did it recently to Bud Crawford. Oh, there's nothing in it for me. Why should I fight Terrence Crawford? But between signing a deal with the Saudis and the money, eventually he broke on it and decided to give Crawford an opportunity, and then Crawford beat the brakes off of him and cooked him. So now you look bad because you were the bigger man. This guy came up 2-3 weight classes. He's older than you. And people said he was going to be chinny at this new weight, and he went up there and bodied you. So now it looks bad that you try to half step and not fight him. And although I cannot prove this because Canelo never gave an opportunity to David Benavidez, I truly believe if Canelo gave the opportunity to Benavidez, the torch would have been passed because Benavidez would have broke him up for sure. But that now is just in the fantasy fight column because Canelo never manned up and fought him. So we've seen time and time again where you have these guys that are like boogeyman styles, and then like Canelo didn't want to fight Andrade, stuff like that, because the gravy train might have been disrupted a whole long time before that. Canelo didn't initially want to fight Lara, but Lara kept chirping and talking ish about him. And Golden Boy, they just told you recently, I made a video about it. Golden Boy Promotions on record saying, we did not want the Lara fight for Canelo when we had him, but Canelo insisted on the fight, so it ended up happening. So there's a long history of fighters fronting on other fighters, and it's oftentimes black or Cuban fighters, and they're acting like, why should I fight him? And even though the whole world of boxing is like, oh, I will pay for that. That's an amazing fight. I'll buy tickets to the fight. Please make the fight, please. And people are like praying that the fight happens. And then you get one side who's trying to play this semantic game about, oh man, the negotiations have to be our way. Or man, tell Boots to beat someone first, become a champion, right? And usually it's to a black fighter, right? Or a Cuban fighter. Sometimes by another black fighter. Like I said, Kell Brook did it to Errol. Keith Thurman did it to Errol. Or Keith Thurman, Errol Spence was like, I'll fight Keith Thurman right now. And Keith Thurman was like, man, get you a belt, do this. And then all of a sudden people start playing matchmaker instead of fighter. And this is what hurts boxing, because two guys in their prime should be fighting, and instead we got politics and people trying to keep the investment safe and all that type of stuff, and it's weak. So again, Jaron Ennis has made his intentions very clear. He's not mincing his words. He's not suggesting anything else. He's saying a priority of his is to fight against Vergil Ortiz next, not like in 2027, next. And here's a bit of the face-off.
Is that time? Let's get this money and let's make this fight happen.
It does matter, because you said that we're the ones talking. We're not the ones talking. Oh, we started talking after you guys started talking. It's retaliation. It's retaliation.
Your manager's talking all crazy. Oscar's talking crazy. It's the time, and I'm gonna make you pay for everything they saying. Straight like that.
Ain't nobody's gonna pay over here.
Bro, he said your manager and all your people talking crazy, and I'm gonna make them pay for what they saying. I'm gonna make them pay straight like that. And then Vergil Ortiz responded, ain't nobody gonna be paying. Yeah, nobody gonna be paying because it don't look like your team gonna allow you to make the fight next. Prove me wrong.
Retaliation. It's retaliation.
Your manager's talking all crazy. Oscar's talking crazy. It's the time, and I'm gonna make you pay for everything they saying. Straight like that.
Ain't nobody's gonna pay over here.
I'm gonna make you pay.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I guarantee you. And we can bet whatever. I guarantee you.
I guarantee you, and we can bet whatever. And people have the audacity to say Boots did not sound confident. He just said and pointed to this man, all that talk that your team is doing, I am going to make that. I'm going to make you pay for their actions. That's gangster. If I'm being honest, like that's like a girl. Let's say you get in a disagreement with the girl in public, somebody else's girl, a guy with his girl, and you don't want to put hands on the female. So then you take out your rage on the dude. Well, I'm gonna make your boyfriend pay for this stuff you saying. You know, I'm like, let's say somebody racist or something, and you're not gonna hold off and hit the girl necessarily. Cool. But your boyfriend gonna get it. Your boyfriend, he fair game. And since I can't do nothing to you, I'm gonna make your boyfriend pay for this you talking and how you acting, and for him not like checking you, right? This, when Vergil Ortiz is being confronted and Jaron Ennis is saying all this, look at Vergil Ortiz's dad. You see that? That's Vergil Ortiz's dad right there. Does that look like super confident? Does that look super confident? I mean, y'all let me know in the comment section. Does his pops look super confident in this engagement going down? This face-off going down? Does it look like, yeah, this is what I want? Ooh, Birdman hand rub. I'm not seeing that vibe. So again, respect Jaron Ennis. I think he a man on a mission. He Denzel Washington, man on fire. I wish you had more time. He out here on his John Creasy, right? People done said he ducked and it lit a fuse and it lit the wick and now he about to explode, pause. And he seemed like he want his own brand of justice. Like, all right, y'all said I'm afraid of this kid. Watch what I do to him. And I like that energy.
And we can bet whatever. I guarantee you.
I don't want to take your money away, bro. I'm not betting.
You ain't gonna take nothing.
Nah.
You ain't gonna take nothing. I guarantee you. We can bet any amount of money. When we fight, I guarantee you, I'm gonna win.
I don't bet, but don't make any promises you can't keep, bro.
Bro, he said, Vergil Ortiz says, I don't want to take your money. We ain't betting. I don't want to take your money. And he's like, I don't care. We could bet whatever. I promise you. I guarantee you. And then Vergil Ortiz says, I don't bet. That don't sound that confident to me, bro. I don't care what. If somebody's in your face and they like, I'm going to do this, da-da-da. You're both fighters. It's not like Vergil's a soccer player and Boots is confronting him as a combat pugilist. They're both fighters. They both are saying they want to fight. And he's like, I'll bet you. And then like, you're saying you don't bet. First of all, you said you don't want to take his money. And then you changed it and said you don't even bet. That don't sound confident to me, bro. Like, I'd understand if you were Muslim or something and gambling was against your religion, but you said, I don't want to take your money. And then he insisted, like, I guarantee you, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. We could bet whatever. That day, when that day happens, I'm going to beat you. And then you like, oh, I don't bet. To me, that don't sound confident.
Take your money away, bro. I'm not betting.
You ain't gonna take nothing.
Nah.
You ain't gonna take nothing. I guarantee you. We can bet any amount of money. When we fight, I guarantee you, I'm gonna win.
I don't bet, but don't make any promises you can't keep, bro.
I'm gonna make every promise and I'm gonna keep it straight like that. You're a great fighter. You look tremendous.
He said, don't make a promise you can't keep. He said, I'm gonna make all the promises. He said, I'm finna make all these promises and I'm gonna keep it. Like, you ain't saying nothing, bruh.
But I'm gonna show the world I'm the best in the world. I got something for you.
You got a yes for me?
I got a yes.
I got something for you. And then Vergil says you have a yes for me. But days before, yo pops was talking about we ain't fighting him next because he has to earn it. De La Hoya is talking about, oh, the negotiations have to go our way. Like, it just seems like too many obstacles. Like, your team is putting up obstacles. This is Boots' energy you're seeing on the screen. I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing, right? So I don't care what none of y'all talking about. I'm a fair analyst. I'm giving you fair analysis. This don't really sound confident from Team Ortiz. It don't. You got a guy in your face and he's like, we could bet whatever. I guarantee you. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to bet. But you just said you'll take his money. Why would you say you're going to take someone? Like, if two dudes in the hood talking about a dice game and then someone's like, man, come on, you don't want that. I don't want to take your money. That means you gamble, you down for this, to me. So you can't be like, oh man, no, I don't even shoot dice. What? Then why'd you say I don't want to take your money? Because I feel that because I'm a competitive person. So if somebody said blah blah blah, I can edit better than you, or I can rap better than you. I'm trying to see that. Let's have a rap off or whatever, a decathlon, whatever the contest is. Let's see. So now that you said that, I'm a persist and I'm a insist because now I'm trying to see something. So that interaction, Jaron Ennis won for sure in my book. Now, on these unpacks, I usually save the best for last. Another indication that I was not feeling was I've already made a video about Vergil Ortiz's manager suggesting that Vergil's next fight be Errol Spence. Check that video out, but I've already explained that. What was the whole face-off for if you want to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence too was in attendance, but he wasn't in the ring. So why would we hype up this fight? Why didn't you call Errol Spence to get in the ring, right? Why is your team, by way of your manager, Rick Marinigan or whatever, pitching a Errol Spence fight? In addition, do you understand? I don't know if Vergil Ortiz's team thought this through. Do you understand how bad this looks when you got somebody who looks to be a little bit bigger than you, moved up in the same division, is active? You did this whole face-off. He's like, I'll beat you down in front of everybody. I'm going to make you pay for what your team has been saying. I guarantee you I'm taking your money. I'm running your pockets when we fight. And they're presenting it like that. The world of boxing wants to see it. I'm a boxing media member and boxing fan. I would love to see it. I would pay for it. And your manager is talking about an Errol Spence fight. So instead of this pretty much equal in age, in prime fighter that you just had this face off with, you'd rather fight Errol Spence, who hasn't fought since 2023, and we're entering 2026 in a month and a half. So he's been out the ring 2-3 years, never fought at 54. Boots at least got one fight at 54, right? He's older than Boots. He didn't jump in the ring like Boots. And he has not made his future announcement for his career, or if he's going to continue his career, and your team feels it is best to be pushing an Errol Spence fight. Oh, it's an all Texas barn burner. We don't care about that, bro. We haven't seen Errol since the Crawford fight. God bless him. Let him take his time and decide what's right for him. But for me, being completely fair, it looks really bad for Vergil Ortiz's team to be pushing an Errol Spence fight. You'd rather, like, Errol Spence lost pretty much every round versus Crawford and hasn't fought in 3 years and hasn't fought at 54. So your team would rather you fight a guy who's coming off a car crash, had a detached retina, coming off of a lopsided loss to Crawford, hasn't fought in 3 years, and hasn't fought as a 154 pounder. That's the fight that they're pushing for, instead of Boots, who hasn't been through a car crash, is younger, just confronted you in a face-off on your network, right? The world of boxing wants to see it. Both guys are undefeated and in prime. Errol's not undefeated anymore. And I'll never bash Errol Spence. Errol Spence gave me a lot of his time with interviews. I love Errol Spence and what he's brought to boxing. But I'm just talking about his sheer absence from the sport. He's been like domesticated family man as of late. So we don't know what's next for Errol Spence. But the fact that you want to pick and choose somebody potentially wounded rather than somebody that's Canelo, scavenger, vulture type of behavior. You'd rather the fledgling animal in the desert that got hit by a car because you know it's going to be low on energy because it's bleeding out. You would rather the animal that, like the lions or whatever, attacked this hyena and he damaged up and in bad shape from a pride of lions attacking him, but he lived, but he's like barely clinging on. You know what I mean? You would rather that as opposed to go after the lion? Come on, bro. Come on. That I don't care who you are. The race fans, you know that don't make sense. You know in your heart that don't make sense, right? Because again, let's say you still want to fight Errol Spence. Let him come back when he wants to come back. Let him get a tune-up or a couple tune-ups just to, get his foot in the door at 54 and reassert himself in a new division. And because he's had a 3-year absence, you want to just go straight into a fight. So now that's looking like a pattern. Lubin people said he was washed and he was like kind of at the end of it, you fought him and then you cooked him in 2 rounds. When you fought more people who are more in prime, like Boachuk and Madrimov, you didn't knock them out. But then Lubin, who looked like he's at the end of his rope even before you fought him, that's who you picked. And then now Errol off a 3-year layoff and loss, that's who you want. Now, I know the race fans, I know old media, they gonna be like, oh, but Ego, his manager said it. So how are you gonna judge Vergil when his manager said it? I'm glad you asked. Their argument is gonna be, how can we blame Vergil Ortiz for statements made by his manager, Rick? They're going to be like, oh, Vergil didn't say it though. So that's what he wants. That's not what Vergil wants. Vergil wants to fight Boots. I told you, save the best for last. Roll the clip.
Which one of them do you want next? It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since AT&T. AT&T, there you go, at the Cowboy Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. I don't care what anyone says about it. But anyone else, like I said, anyone can get it respectfully. I just want to fight the best. I'm just a competitive guy. Yeah.
Pack him up. Pack him up. Pack him up. Bro, that was Vergil Ortiz himself. And he just said, you know, to be honest, if I had a choice, who I want next, Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence has always been my dream fight, so I don't care what anybody else says. And then had the nerve to say, but I want to fight the best. But I want to fight the best. We don't know right at this moment, off a 3-year layoff with 0 fights at 54, if Errol is the best at that division. So, per usual, Boxingego caught another body, and I know y'all mad, and I know the race fans and old media is mad because I cooked y'all yet again. This don't add up. Also, listen to what people said. Listen to the body language. The question was very direct. Oh, who do you want to fight next? He said, you know, actually, it don't really matter. This is after he knocked out Lubin, by the way, right? They said, who do you want to fight next? Simple question. He says, it doesn't really matter. Let me play it again.
Which one of them do you want next? It doesn't matter who's next.
Which one of them do you want next? Simple question, eh? You ever had yours pushed in? I've had mine pushed in, bro. Big time. Right? Bro, simple question, eh? He said, which of them do you want next? Vergil Ortiz replied, it doesn't matter which one's next. I don't really care. Does this sound confident when a man was 2 feet away from you, pointing and saying, I'm going to destroy you, and you say you don't really care who's next?
Which one of them do you want next? It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm going to...
Bro, it's not adding up. So you want to fight Boots hardcore and you want to fight the best hardcore, but then you said you don't care who you fight next. It doesn't matter. And then you said, to be honest, I want Errol Spence next, who I've already stated throughout this video, coming off of a loss, never fought at the full 54 in recent memory, been kicking it with his family, lost every round to Crawford, not a champion at 54, no real relevant fights. I think he fought at 150 something in the amateurs, but really, is that your claim to fame? We're talking about pros.
Which one of them do you want next? It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since AT&T. AT&T, there you go, at the Cowboy Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. I don't care what anyone says about it.
That's my dream fight, and I don't care what anybody says about it. So I want to know what you guys say about it in the comment section. But again, I'm not holding my breath. Maybe Turkey can convince these guys or put up a pot where they end up fighting. But shout out to Jaron Boots Ennis. Shout out to Philly. Definitely Boots did his thing. And got us hyped, but it doesn't look like Team Ortiz is currently showing that follow through. Boots, ask him who he wants next. He been saying Vergil Ortiz. And then he'll say, I'll fight anybody else. You ask Vergil Ortiz, he talking about it don't really matter. I don't care. So maybe he needs to be media trained or PR trained, but that don't look good. When there's an expectation from boxing fans, when you just said you want to fight the best and you talking about you don't care who's next, that don't sound good, especially when the guy who wants to be next hopped in the ring, came to your state, confronted you, said what he's going to do to you, hyped everybody up, you know, seeing both of y'all together, and then you're acting nonchalant like you don't care if you get another Lubin. So Golden Boy, they might try to protect their investment, or maybe behind the scenes, Oscar and them have already agreed that Boots won't be next. You know, maybe there's some kind of silent pact, because they seem to be on the same page. His manager, Rick, talking about, oh, we want Errol. And then you have Vergil Ortiz said he want Errol. So maybe behind the scenes, they didn't talk to Errol and they're trying to make that fight happen. But for me, I don't like that. I've already explained to it. I don't really like that, because why? I understand Errol said he's Mr. No Tune-Ups, but if you're charging a pay-per-view price, which it probably will be, right? I want to see the best versus the best, and I want to see two people who are like able-bodied and had a good camp, things like that. I feel like any fighter, not just Errol Spence, if you take anyone outside of Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, super elite anomaly discipline guys, and you put them out there sport for 3 years at whatever age Errol Spence is, any fighter like that could spell trouble. You know what I mean? That could definitely spell trouble. That's for anybody. I mean, it don't even have to be boxing. Imagine any job and you disappear from your job for 3 years. And you come back, they might have new technology, new computers, new store manager. You know, the customer base might have changed, different sales. Like we're talking about like 3 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. So for me, it's not even making sense, this whole Errol Spence approach. Like I said, he has not fought since the T-Mobile fight with Crawford in 2023. So why would you, if you want the best versus the best, which is what you said, why would you pick Errol Spence off a hiatus and loss over, at least you have to admit Jaron Ennis has a ton of momentum and he's undefeated. And Eddie Hearn's been keeping him active for sure, right? It hasn't been like big names. So this is Errol Spence, currently 35. So you'd rather fight a 35-year-old with everything else that I stated against him, rather than the person who's close to your age, who's tearing through stuff and established who's the best of this current crop of generation of fighters at 54. Mind-boggling. Let me know how I did. I know I cooked, but you know, still let me know in the comment section. If you like breakdowns like this where I really unpack, get you with all truth and all facts, subscribe. For more boxing news, subscribe. Use my affiliate links if you want to do YouTube yourself. vidIQ, excellent tool. If you want to stream like me, use StreamYard. Shout out to the people with the cash apps, the super chats, the super thanks, all that. It definitely helps so we continue to move the needle. We unpack. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I could provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,